What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and welcome to episode 15 of The Knife Guy. If you are new to this, or you just came out of some weird corner of the internet and you have no idea where you are or who I am a knife enthusiast, knife collector, knife user. I am a knife guy in my own social setting, and I came to be, through my own path, but myself and other knife guys and gals, we share a lot of similar circumstances. We kind of we cross paths, and we experience some of the same things, and that's what this series is all about. It's an opportunity for me to lay a bunch of knives out that maybe people saw on my channel throughout the week, and pick them up and flip them and kind of play with them and just kind of talk. It's something for you to sit back and enjoy as a knife guy or gal, a fellow knife guy or gal. If you are new to my channel, I'd like to do literally daily uploads. I like to do knife reviews, knife overviews, discussion videos, unboxings, and my Knife Guy series, which is what you're watching right now. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and subscribe and make sure that your notifications are set to all. So today I want to talk about, by the way, this is episode 15. That's 15 weeks that this series has been going on. I love that you guys are enjoying this. It makes me so happy. Is this knife driving you guys crazy yet? I promise you, we're reviewing this knife next week. Absolutely. Got to put a fingerprint on it so that I can open it up. But I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying this, because there's so many things that I like to talk about or want to talk about, and I just kind of, compile them and I make these Knife Guy series episodes out of it. So today what I want to talk about is the future of the knife world. If you are new to the knife world, like if you just got into this like last week or within the year, let me tell you something. This is a beautiful time to be interested in the knife world. There's a lot of, there are a lot of things with pocket knives that were issues back in 2012, 13, and 14. And recent innovation and evolution have fixed a lot of them. And we're in this time period. Somebody referred to this as the golden age of the knife industry. And I think there are fair arguments against it, but I honestly agree with that. I think we are in the golden age of this. There's never been a better time to be interested in knives. We have some, incredible budget knives, but I mean, like, think about where the budget knife world was like in 2012. It was abysmal. I mean, there were some decent knives out there, but the Rat 1 and Rat 2 reigned supreme with no competition. Were they even a thing in 2012? I don't know. Whenever those came out, they had no competition forever. And now all of a sudden, there's a sea of amazing budget knives. If you want to be like, you're like, I want to be in the knife world, I want to be like a collector, but I can't afford all that crazy stuff you have all over your table, Metal Complex, so I'm just going to be into the budget knives. By the way, not all this is mine. In fact, like only half of this is mine. I could never afford to have all of these and all the other stuff that you're not seeing on the table. A lot of this stuff is stuff that people have donated. Generous viewers have donated, not donated, I'm sorry, just lent me for review. Some of them have been gifts, and some of them are mine that I purchased out of my own pocket. The budget world is in a great place, and people who want to collect can collect, and it won't kill their wallet. It'll heat your wallet up, but it won't burn a hole in it. And the ultra high-end production world is great. The mid-tech world has kind of disappeared, or at least it's been, drastically reduced. And then I think the custom high-end world is still going strong. I mean, that's kind of that's something that continues in any category of item. There's always a very specific, very narrow, but very fiery market for the incredibly high end of anything. But this is a great time to be interested in this knife world, not just because of all the amazing stuff and all the new makers, and also just like on Instagram, there's like companies that are like, hey, do you have an idea for a knife design? Kick it to us and we'll, maybe we'll make it. Like, that's so cool, because now all these minds, all of like I say my group of people, like the people who kind of latched on to Nick Shabazz and Jim Skelton and Terra Fanatic and Nut and Fancy, and we got obsessed with knives and kind of got our foundational viewpoints based on what they were telling us and the knives that we had purchased and experienced for ourselves, whether we agreed or disagreed. We have all these ideas in our head now, and it's like something that I talk about all the time. I constantly am like, I'm hunting for Excalibur, this perfect folding knife that is everything that I want based on the last 10 years of watching and listening and experiencing. Well, now there's kind of a source for that. You can kind of take your ideas to it's not like you can do it and they will absolutely make it, but they're extending a hand. Some of these companies are like, hey, tell us what your ideas, and maybe if we like it, we'll build it. I know that Gonzo was doing something for a little bit, and so that's nice for Gonzo because it means they're trying to do, they're trying to like maybe take a couple of steps back from the, being very inspired by certain designs from other makers. So that's cool. That's a step in the right direction. I think Bestech was doing something. I think Artisan Cutlery was doing something along those lines. That's cool, because they have the manufacturing foundation to be able to do things like that. So we're gonna see that evolution take place. We're also seeing a lot of incredibly innovative stuff. Rick Hinder's Tri-Way pivot system, for example, is the only pivot system that has ever been created that is modular in the sense that you can have bearings or phosphor bronze or nylon washers, whatever you want for whatever circumstances, switched out and able to be switched out on the fly. We have really cool, I've had a lot of fun playing with this ROK, with this like retractable pocket clip that actually works really, really well, I like that. And this has also got a modular deployment setup. You can remove the flipper tab, whatever. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff out there. And certain technologies, things that used to be exclusive to a certain price parameter are actually coming down. So we're going to see some very, very interesting evolutions. Now this episode is going to be speculation. This is going to be me, saying, sorry, let me set my phone to airplane mode. Oh, what do you know? I got to set my phone to airplane mode and I've got to try and, there we go. But this is going to be me speculating, with steels like Maximit, and composition of steel, and the end result is a multi-directional teeter-totter. There's no way to get a perfect steel, but I think we're going to see some bizarre steels. I think we're going to see certain hyper exotic steels and the price of them come down, as is a lot of times is the case, with the technologies and the equipment that is required to produce said materials. As the cost of technology and the manufacturing costs sometimes come down with the exponential growth of things. And I'm not speaking from a point of view where I know exactly what I'm talking about, but as our capabilities and technology increase and the cost of those technologies come down, oftentimes manufacturing costs come down, and sometimes we see, better and better and better production items with lower and lower and lower costs. So my hope is that we keep seeing better and better and better stuff for less and less and less price. There's still going to be certain things that are just overpriced, and there's certainly going to be really, really inexpensive knives out there. But I'm hoping, me personally, I'm hoping to see titanium integral knives, the cost of them come down. I believe this is an aluminum integral. But I'm hoping to see the cost of titanium integrals come down. I'm hoping to see maybe a step into some laminate steels, some of the weird, more exotic stuff. I'm hoping to see some of these companies that are able to produce incredibly high-end knives for, between $100 and $300. I'm hoping to see them kind of experiment with that. I'm hoping to see just newer stuff. I was so like the LC200N steel that I actually ended up being wrong about, and Crewwear and Maximit. I like these new super steels. I love M390, but it's reigned supreme for a long time. Is it a good steel? Yes. Is it still a good choice? Yes. Will it probably remain to be a good choice? Yes. Is it fun to experience some new things? Yes, definitely. I want to see the evolution of the automatic knife. I want to see, not that it needs to be more, a lot of this stuff doesn't need to evolve. It doesn't need to be more perfected, but is it crazy to think that some of these knife makers will take it a step further and try and perfect it? Yeah. I've always thought it would be cool to see an OTF that had an opening slot that automatically closed, sort of like a retractable, it's something like this. You know, the pocket clip kind of has an inset. I don't know how they do that with an automatic knife, but it would be neat if it kind of had a flap that closed. I have no idea how that would happen. You know, it might have to be something that works from the outside, or I don't know. I'm not I'm not an engineer. I'm not innovative enough to figure something like that out. But you know, like the Harkins Trident, is it the Deadlock? No, not the Harkins Trident. It was the Deadlock OTF, the one that was actually able to lock out solid with no blade play. I thought that was amazing. I was like, what? There's an OTF that does that? That's so cool. I'm interested to see new locking mechanisms. You know, like the CRKT deadbolt. There's the only CRKT I have on the table is a button lock, but that deadbolt lock on the Seismic, that knife ended up having a really terrible steel for how much it cost. But I love the deadlock idea. You push the button and it's got the little pins inside there, and it's kind of, you know, I'm not saying it's as strong as the Triad lock, because I don't know if any tests have been done for it. It doesn't matter. The idea behind it is it's so strong that you would have to, you would have to shred those pins to get it to disengage. And well before you shred the pins, you're going to do damage to other parts of the knife that's, you know, completely outside of reasonable or probably beyond normal human capabilities, you know. So I mean, I love stuff like that. Is it above and beyond? Yeah. Is it unnecessary? Yeah. Is it cool? Yes. Will it get me to open up my wallet? Probably. Definitely. I'm also really excited to see new finishes, new you know, like this I cannot remember what they call this, but it's actually it's a special type of anodizing. And I had never seen anything like that. You know, the most beautiful thing that I had seen up to that point in terms of color was like Timascus. I think this is called Amoeba Timascus on this Chad Neal. I can't remember the name of this. The most beautiful thing I'd ever seen was Timascus. Now this is a piece of titanium that's got a multicolored kind of like really complex anodizing, but it's not actually layers of titanium like Timascus is. It's just multi-anodization. Kind of looks like liquid dripping down, or like I originally put it, like a nebula. Anyways, I'm really, really excited for stuff like that. And I'm excited for, you know, like in the case of the Chavez, the 229 here, just evolutions of knives that everybody really, really liked, but, you know, just kind of needed to be updated. I remember thinking a while back, like, man, I love that Chavez 228 so much, but it was a $500 mid-tech, you know, and it was in S35VN, and it didn't have I don't think, yeah, maybe it was on bearings back then. It definitely didn't have the lock bar insert or the over travel stop, but I was like, man, that'd be so cool if you like updated that and did that kind of stuff, and lo and behold, here we are, you know, M390. What's dominating the market right now, is, I would say the most most common thing you see is either an a titanium S35VN flipper or a titanium M390 flipper frame lock. Those are dominating the market. Ceramic bearings, M390, steel lock bar insert, titanium. They're adding some crazy contouring and inlays and blah, blah, blah. And it's getting to this ceiling that I'm kind of waiting for the next big thing. You know, the titanium frame locks in M390 are like, that's what everybody wants, you know. And I've had a million of them and I love them, you know. Right now I'm enjoying my current XM. You know, I say current because I'll inevitably, you know, have more of them. This is a non-flipper, but it's a titanium frame lock. It's in 20 CV, US made. This is a really, really expensive knife versus a lot of the other stuff that's out there right now. And it's a non-flipper, but, you know, I love that. I absolutely love it. But, you know, there's a part of me that's kind of getting bored with it. And I feel like you guys are probably kind of in the same boat. You know, a lot of the crazy outside the box stuff that we see oftentimes is in the custom world. But we do have some companies taking some risks and kind of stepping outside the box. And at some point, you know, with this expansion, it's just going to keep happening. And these companies are going to feel the push from the knife community. And then some of these newer companies, you know, are really paying attention to really being interactive on social media. And, you know, we're going to eventually, you know, somebody's going to come up with a new mechanism, a new, you know, way to deploy a knife, or a new way to make sure that a frame lock stays in place, or a different type of locking mechanism altogether. I mean, imagine, in my mind, it's going to be really hard to beat the simplicity of the compression lock, the manipulation. And, the button lock has that same kind of fidget factor, but I think people are in general agreement that the button lock simply isn't as reliable or as strong as the compression lock. I have no way to prove that. I have no idea if that's true or not. But I think people are just used to a little bit of blade play or wiggle in a button lock, and there's not blade play or wiggle for the most part in a compression lock. But I mean, at some point, it's not like we've found everything. We're definitely not at a point where it's like, well, that's all the evolution there can be for the knife world. Everybody's found everything. I guess that's it. Definitely not. If you are new or you are a veteran, whether you are stuck in your ways and you're convinced that the best has already been invented and there's no reason to reinvent the wheel, or you're brand new and you're excited to see, how this changes and evolves, it's going to, whether you want it to or not, whether you think it is or you don't think that it is. I promise you, it is going to evolve and change. Possibly there are going to be things that I dislike, but I know there's going to be stuff that I like. And as a content creator, as somebody who's already obsessed with folding knives and already, just invested in this, and somebody that it just enjoys putting his time into stuff like this, I cannot tell you how excited I am for that, because, it means growth for this channel and more things for me to get excited about. Here's what I'm not excited about. Here's something that makes me upset. Instagram blocking certain hashtags and being afraid of, certain things that have to do with knives. My ultimate fear, and I think a fear that is shared by a lot of content creators on YouTube and just viewers alike, is that YouTube will start going, that kind of knives are a little bit scary. They make people uncomfortable, and we certainly wouldn't want to make our advertisers and partners uncomfortable and, send the wrong message. That sucks. That is not, I mean, really, channels like this, I hope, and other channels that are substantially better than mine and have a better way of, getting these messages out. It's better to, help educate people who are either unaware or afraid or just don't have any experience that knives are 99.9% of the time, they are tools. They are meant to be things that we use in a moment of convenience, Now, yeah, a lot of them do look aggressive, but somebody like me, I pick up something like, well, let's use this. I pick up something like this and I say, well, that's a beautiful work of art. It also happens to be a functional tool. Maybe not 100% the most convenient tool, but something that's incredibly well made and beautiful and just breathtaking, and it's enjoyable, Yeah, there's a blade on it, but the blade is just meant to cut, a box or whatever. It's meant to just be used primarily as a tool. People are afraid, and a lot of times stuff like this sends a wrong message. So it's going to be really difficult in the future for content creators like me, and very frustrating for content creators like me, if the knife world expands and we start having red tape around everything. It's difficult. I need my videos to reach people, and I need my stuff on Instagram and Twitter. Now I'm on Twitter now, by the way. I need that to reach people. And if there's red tape around everything, it makes it difficult. It's going to make it difficult for all of us, and it's going to make it really frustrating for people wanting to watch this stuff when, creators don't have the same incentive to put this stuff out there because everything's being blocked. It sounds it's like, oh, YouTube, creator being whiny, but that is a potential, and I'm getting really preachy here, and I don't generally do that. I'm kind of voicing my concern. But for the most part, I'm very excited for the expansion and evolution of the knife world. I'm very excited to see what the next few years bring. Hopefully ZT steps it up a notch. You guys are kind of making some stuff that people don't 100% like as much as they used to. I really hope you guys do something different. I love ZT. I don't like the path they're going down right now. Anyways, this was, once again, another ranty, rambly episode. If you guys enjoyed this episode of The Knife Guy, or at least found it entertaining, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, then please subscribe to my channel because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.